Welcome back to the My Nintendo podcast. This is episode 2. Appreciate you guys coming out to join me today. I know you have many different entertainment options, and we sure appreciate you choosing us today. So, mainly, I wanted to start off the podcast by playing a little bit of this first. Some cool Nintendo lo-fi track here. Link will be in the description for the full mix. You guys can bump this yourself if you like. Here we go. My Nintendo podcast, everybody. All right. So we're going to get rid of that for now. Hope you guys are having a great day. I did want to talk about a few things on the podcast. So I wanted to start off primarily by discussing what is the My Nintendo podcast? It's one of those things where you may not know. It's like, well, is it just about My Nintendo? Is it about things other than My Nintendo? Is it like you're only going to release an episode twice a month? Like, what's going on with this podcast, man? So I am here to give you the details. What is the My Nintendo podcast? Well, it is now going to be a weekly podcast. Each Friday night. Today is Saturday. I was really tired. I was studying. Some of you guys, I'm going to get off on a quick rant here, but as some of you may or may not know, I am in college currently. I'm in a program, in an information technology program. And this week I was studying and testing. I got 80% on my pretest, which is just enough to pass, but my mentor at my college insists I need 85, so we're not there yet. But I'm currently studying for the CompTIA Project Plus certification. So that's something that I will be studying for, and it just took the wind out of my sails, and I fell asleep last night. Couldn't do my streams. I just didn't have any gas left, guys. So that's my week of school. So that was why there was no podcast yesterday. But normally, the podcast will take place each week on Friday, regardless of whether there are My Nintendo items released, regardless of whether anything My Nintendo relevant happens. We all know that, we used to do a show called My Nintendo Weekly, which some of you guys might remember, and I had to stop doing that show because, we started My Nintendo Weekly during the what I like to call the boom of My Nintendo, when they were releasing the Mario pin set, and when they were releasing Mario missions. It's just really doing a weekly show on just that stuff is impossible. So learning that lesson, this podcast is not that. This podcast is called the My Nintendo podcast, but I just talked about college. I'll talk about a variety of subjects. I promise it won't be political subjects, but I will talk about a variety of subjects, all related to gaming. I'm obsessed with gaming, so that's what the subjects are going to be about. 95% Nintendo, 5% Xbox. I do cover the Series X on occasion because I love my Series X. You guys might have seen in my recent video, I had all my boxes up top with my Series X, my Series S, and my Xbox One all stacked. Like I said, I do like Xbox also, so expect a little bit of Xbox content, but it will be very rare. Maybe one video out of 15 or 20. And again, maybe like one topic on a podcast on occasion, but most of this podcast and most of this channel is about Nintendo. So you're not going to have to deal with a lot of non-Nintendo topics. You won't have to skip around a lot. I will just try to expose you to some things that you might like. Elden Ring, my recent Elden Ring coverage is an example of that. So anyway, moving on. That's what the My Nintendo podcast is all about. So, that's what we're doing there. Next thing I did want to cover was the Smash tournament that we're running. Now, the Small Moments actually is the one that is running this tournament. I wanted to thank them so much. They have been a huge help to me in running this tournament. It has been very appreciated. I am really just emceeing the tournament. which means Master of Ceremonies, giving my audio talents to people. I gotta move this phone because it's gonna make noise because I've got 99 notifications on my camera, guys. I gotta turn my camera off. Okay, so the wind here is going absolutely bananas right now. So I've got to shut these cameras off right now, or at least turn them way down. We're gonna go with like just a way lower sensitivity on each, and hopefully that's enough. But I have cameras on my house, and when the wind goes, it just goes nuts. It goes absolutely nuts. So it's just, it'll wear your batteries out. And if you hear any background noise, I'm recording literally in my couch, which faces a window, which faces a major street. So if you do hear any of that, that's why. I am going to go ahead and turn my phone on silent, and hopefully that will take care of that issue. So, quick story there, something interesting to kind of change it up there a little bit, tell you guys a little bit of a different story about my wind here. But anyway, back to the Smash tournament. I really wanted to talk to you guys about this tournament. Now, Small Moments had this idea, and I'll be honest, at first I was skeptical because I just really didn't think that I wasn't sure that there would be interest, and it's so much work to ask a Patreon member and a subscriber to do for the channel. It's just so much work and so much commitment that I wanted to make sure that people were there and would be interested. Thankfully, we ran a poll on the community tab that was very positive. I just ran another survey that's been very positive, asking if people were excited about the tournament, so we're really excited about it. It seems like you guys are really excited about it. Excuse me. I did announce the prizes, and I will go over them now since they've already been announced. First place prize, so just kind of an idea of how the tournament will work. We are taking 16 people. The link will be in this video in the description of this podcast. We are taking 16 people that will actually be in the tournament. Now, we are picking up to 16 alternates because people flake out. They don't show up. They get scared. No offense. People chicken out. People have plans. People have lives. A bunch of different things. And so we need backups because we need there to be at least one match to give out the prizes. So that's kind of the deal. There needs to be at least one match that happens for the prizes to go out. You guys do have to join the Discord to claim your prize. The rules will be also on the Discord, the rules of conduct and such, and other Smash, competitive rules will be in there. So you guys can check out that Discord. Make sure you sign up for the Discord, and then there's another link that I'll also leave in this description to actually fill out the sign-up form. This is all super official. Small Moments spent 100 hours on this project. I've spent maybe 20 hours. They've really done much more, but this is a group effort. And obviously, I put in all day on some episodes and this podcast, so I feel like we're at least getting the info out there. I will also be posting on. I don't post a lot on Instagram and stuff, but I'm going to be posting on Instagram, TikTok. TikTok. I may even do a promoted post on TikTok, but Instagram, TikTok, because I do have a presence there now with Will I Buy, which we'll talk about later. And Facebook and possibly Twitter. So we're going to get the word out. I wanted to finish this podcast before I did that, just so if people have questions, I can refer them to this section of the podcast. I'm also going to do an episode guide each podcast where I break down, the timestamps. So if you guys just want to hear about the tournament, you can click on this timestamp, etc. But we're super excited. Both the Small Moments and I are. We're giving out this custom mug for first place. It's super awesome. We're giving out. If you guys want to see that stuff, the link will be in the description to the full announcement video that has the unboxing of the mugs. Spoilers, they're mugs, but they're super cool. It's a trophy. It's only for first place gets the mug, but there's prize packages for first and the runner-up. First gets the mug and a Super Mario 35th Anniversary pin set 2 and a Metroid poster bundle. Wow, you guys hear that? I'm telling you, I'm right on the road here. You can hear the... Goodness gracious, man. I need a studio. Anyway. Awesome. So people bump their music back here too. I don't exactly know what any of that is about, but what are you going to do? So anyway, this tournament is going to rock. Second place, there's a bunch of random stuff. You guys can check it out on the video. But either way, it's worth it. to sign up. There's no fees. We ask you to maybe subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. But other than that, I don't really have, there's no requirement. This is for the community. We want the community to really come together for this tournament and enjoy Smash Brothers because, it's not going away or anything, but, with there not being active development, it feels like it's sort of faded. And I hate to see that because, even though I'm not like a guy, and I'll be fully honest with you guys, I'm not a guy who plays Smash every day. I think I put 30 or 40 hours into Smash. I play it on occasion. I like it. Kirby's my main. I have enough of a passion to run a tournament, but I'm not a very good player. I will be honest about that, which is why, if you're on my friends list, you probably don't see me in Smash that often because, like, literally I play so many different games. So that's why I don't compete competitively, which I do mention in the video. Compete competitively. What a weird word. Competitive, compete, competitive. But the reason I don't play competitively is because I just don't have the time to practice to get better. That's really what it is. You have to focus on one game. I focus on mini games. So I play Smash for fun mostly. And to unlock stuff and things like that. My favorite Smash is Melee and my main is Kirby. So just to guys give me the kind of my background with Smash, I played Melee for hundreds of hours when I was younger on the GameCube. And that was my first exposure to really... That kind of brought me back to Nintendo, actually. I had a Sega Genesis and a Sega CD and a 3DO. I didn't have the Super Nintendo, and stuff like that. So it's like, when it came time to get back, when I had my own money and it wasn't my parents buying me stuff, I always had to pick one system. So I always picked whatever was the hot thing. I picked the PlayStation. I did have an N64, but the N64 didn't blow me away. But when I played Melee on the GameCube, I was way back into Nintendo. And that's what really brought me back to the Nintendo structure was the GameCube. And then I fell off of Nintendo for a while again, and the Switch brought me back. So, kind of that wave. And now I'm like permanent Nintendo fanboy pretty much because I have, hundreds of games on my Switch digitally. I have a huge collection. I want to show that off at some point too. So yeah, I want to do some content with that huge collection too. I just can't, it's so much easier to do content. It's so much easier to do content for like a physical collection, right? Because I can set up all my games, but I collect digitally. So how do I do that content? Would it be boring? Here's all my re-download section. It's like, and ever since I switched to the OLED, all of the icons aren't there. So I'd have to go re-download everything to get the icons to show up again. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I don't know what to do with my digital content, my digital games to make content. If you have ideas, let me know in the comments below. But that's a tough one. I've got, if I had it, it would be one of the bigger libraries online, if I had it physically. It's over 300. It would definitely be up there with some of the bigger libraries. So, but it's not physical. But let me know what you think. So we're going to move on from the Smash tournament. But, that's the basics. You guys want to go sign up. You can do that. We would love to have you, and things like that. And here's some, just a reminder of what Smash is all about, a little gameplay. Here's the Sora reveal trailer, So enjoy this for a second. I'm going to turn the audio up. Let's watch this together, guys. Just for a bit here. Yeah, there we go. So Sora was a really big deal. When this happened, this was like major. I was hoping for Waluigi, but so many people were excited about this. It's really hard not to be, excited right there along with them. Just Smash is just so awesome, guys. It brings together all these different series and games and characters, and they have all of these different things. So definitely cool. Well, there's a little tidbit of that trailer. I'm just showing a little video here too, DJing it up, DJ in the booth, baby. We're getting rid of that though, and we're moving on. I got another video here for you guys because I'm just DJing it up, having fun with this. Oh, it's loud. But this is the part of the Minecraft Steve reveal. Now, this is another thing that I really thought was, I picked some huge moments. That's what these are. They're huge moments in the franchise, and I thought I would pick them. I'm also showing off my show making abilities here. I've been practicing in OBS here to try to make some more, some more interesting type content. More stuff was like I can interact and edit it all on the fly, and I'm not having to do it on my phone, because that does get, I have to say that it does get, mute this for a second, it does get old having to do it on your phone, because it's like you're just, I don't know how best to describe it, but to me it's kind of like doing it on your phone, it really limits, and the app I use is called Video Shop to make my videos on mobile. It's just you get to that limitation. It's such a good app, but you do get to some limitations on it as well. So this was when they were talking about Minecraft Steve. And I bought this DLC. I bought this DLC. So... the drink here, my drink. Will we watch this? Whew. But I mean, look, the innovation, that's why I picked this one. The innovation of this in a fighting game, to me, is just amazing. I felt like we needed Master Chief to kind of round off the weirdness of this, being a Microsoft franchise, but we did not get that. But I hold out hope that they're going to come back for Smash like they did for Mario Kart 8. You heard it here first, guys. What if they came back with a new set of expansion pack plus DLC, just like they did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Boner. It's a boner pack. A booster pack. You didn't hear that, kids. A booster pack. So yeah, what if they did like a Smash Brothers booster pack? That would be freaking cool, right? Added, 48 new characters. I don't think it'd be that many, but maybe like 10 new characters. But anyway, that's that. So I just wanted to kind of go over a little bit of stuff about Smash. I wanted to talk about some history of Smash. So I thought that came out, really well. But yeah, so something is still playing in the background. I don't know what it is. Hold on. It shouldn't be playing in the background. Hold on. Was it playing in another... Ah, here we go. That's why. Close this. There we go. Okay, so now the next thing I wanted to talk about, we've kind of gone over the Smash tournament. I wanted to show you guys the Consol-ers website. Now, this is pretty cool. This is the website that I made in 1999. Well, started it in 1999 with some friends, and we made this website, basically. So, what you're looking at here was a banner, but as you can see, we cover, we did news, reviews, codes. I mean, you can click on some of this stuff, but it kind of just goes to these. Oh, yeah, you can see here. Here we go. New Dex Drive saves, guys. Some new Dex Drive saves here. So I used to run this. Now I designed. Ooh, look. Which do you own? A Game Shark, a Dex Drive, both or neither? Well, both or neither. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Which do you own? Both or neither? Game Shark, Dex Drive, both or neither. So yeah, this is just kind of, we did all of these things. Back in the day, you see this is from 99, which is literally like 2009, over 20 years ago. I think 25, almost 25 years ago. This is almost 25 years old. I had to get this from the Wayback Machine. These are captures. This doesn't actually exist. As you can see, when you click on links, it's kind of hit or miss. if anything works. You can't vote in the poll, for example. I don't think you can, at least. No, I don't think so. I tried. No, I don't think you can vote in the poll. Anyway, the reason I bring up this old website, you may go, why are you talking about this website? Well, I'm announcing another podcast. Believe it or not, this is not the only podcast. Now, you got the My Nintendo podcast, which is a weekly podcast on Friday, which is just me, in audio. Now, what we are launching is another podcast. Let's see if I can pull up the image here. And it will be called the Consol-ers podcast. I thought I had the image prepped, but I don't see it. Don't worry, guys. It's here. That's fine. Browse. Here we go. Consol-ers 2, maybe? Yeah, there we go. So it's going to be called the Consol-ers podcast. We're announcing it today, and you can see the website in the background. That's why I showed you guys the website. If you guys want to explore that website, you can go to the Wayback Machine. It's archive.org and type in Consol-ers.com and go back to the 90s, and you guys can poke through my website if you want. But I ran this website with a group of people. It was me and a gentleman named Anton G, and I am bringing Anton G back. So we will be doing a video podcast where we both talk about everything games. Now, this is going to be similar. And another reason I showed you guys the website is that this will be... excuse me, I've been talking for too long. Anyway, this will be a recreation, okay? A recreation of the Consol-ers website via podcast form, meaning we will be reviewing games, previewing games, and it will be for all different platforms, not just, and you guys might be excited to know, I know many of you are Sony PlayStation fans, Anton G is a Sony PlayStation master and specialist. This guy has played more stuff on PlayStation than anybody I know. Ever since the original PlayStation. I was in on PlayStation through PS2, but he stuck with it all the way. I think he might have skipped PS3. I can't remember. Maybe he has PS3. But I think he's had them all. And he stuck with PlayStation through the... I had the PS1, the PS2, and the PS4. I skipped PS3, and I will get a PS5 eventually. That's not something that I'm in a hurry to get. I just got an Xbox Series X. And as long as most of the games that I want to play are multi-plat, I'm probably good with that. And a lot of Sony games go to PC, which I have a PC. And I think I'm going to get a Steam Deck. Oh, I wanted to talk about Steam Deck too, so I will be talking about that before we call it. I have some other topics. This podcast is going to be pretty long, actually. I'm happy about that. And many of you might be as well. So yeah, Consol-ers podcast. It's going to have... Oh, you can see the review back there for Crazy Taxi. Dreamcast release date. Dude, this website was out in the heyday, guys. This website was out in the heyday. Back to the website here. This website was out in the heyday of the Dreamcast. I mean, the Dreamcast was the hot thing, guys. Like, that was the thing that everybody was interested in. And we did tons of reviews. We were featured on Game Rankings. Our reviews were featured on Game Rankings, which is now called Metacritic. We didn't make it over in the transition, but, that's just sort of kind of our history. I've been a journalist in gaming for over 25 years, as you can see here. Dungeon was my old pen name. I still use, you might see that on occasion. I do use that in games. Stomped was the old website that I worked for. So this is me writing this in the 90s. So pretty cool to see. But, that also gives you an idea of sort of my expertise in gaming and my background in gaming. And Anton was right along here. My buddy Anton was right along here with me writing these things. So, he also has... Like I said, an insane amount of experience in this genre, with writing in general. So that's the big announcement there. Consol-ers podcast. I'm going to talk about the Steam Deck real quick. But I just wanted to welcome Anton G into the Michael Experiment family. Not that he wasn't already a member. He has actually been in a video before. And I'll link his... I totally forgot. He would be mad if I forgot, probably. But he did an interview. One of our best videos, by the way. I'm going to link it in the description here. And I'll probably even put a little card up right here so you guys can click on it. Title card up top. Check out his interview about how gaming is in Japan and how gaming has changed in Japan. It's one of my very first season Michael Experiment episodes. I'm super proud of it. He did a super good job. He did a super good job shooting and filming it. It's wonderful. I will link it. But he's already been a member of the channel and the family. He's not in the Discord, but he is a member of the family here. He's one of my closest friends. Best friend, really. So he is somebody that I spend a lot of time with, as much time as I can with, because this world is crazy and you never know what's going to happen, and this guy's really special. So I spend a lot of time with him, and I will continue to, because you never know when we're going to go. I'm telling you. So yeah, and he's awesome. So me and him will be doing our back and forth. We're kind of practicing right now. I'm practicing in a way by doing this podcast. Being able to talk for half an hour, 45 minutes. Not always easy to do. On a live stream, it's different because I'm sitting there playing a game and just reacting. This requires a lot more enunciating and using my big boy voice, and I don't know how long I could keep it up. But we're going to keep going because I want a long podcast. But I do want to talk about the Steam Deck. So we are going to talk about Steam Deck. Let me pull Steam Deck up here real quick on screen, guys. I pre-ordered a Steam Deck, and I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about a couple of things about Steam Deck. Here we go. Yeah, this is perfect. The Valve website for Steam Deck. So basically, Steam Deck is a portable PC with a form factor of a Switch, and it's what a lot of people were calling like, oh, this is the Switch Pro. It's not really. It's more like a PSP2, and that's what I wanted to go into. I was talking with someone in the Discord about, we was Dalton. Shouts to Dalton in the Discord. Dalton's that dude. But we were talking about, I'm trying to remember, I think it was him. I talk to so many people all the time, and everything, but hold on one second here. I just want to get this website pulled up. But we were talking about, he had put up these mock images for a PSP 0, I think he called it, or something like that. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Dalton. I don't have it in front of me. I should have grabbed it for this podcast, but I forgot. But anyway, he had some stuff up there about like games he thought were going to come out for the PSP, a new PSP, and I thought it was awesome. But I guess like what I was thinking is, Sony hasn't really expressed interest, and the Valve situation with the Steam Deck kind of is like a PSP. And to explain that further, I guess, why is the Steam Deck like a PSP? What about it? Well, obviously it's a little chunky. It's a bit chunky for a PSP, I would say. Definitely not size-wise. Maybe not so much, but it might feel better in the hand. It is hard to say if it would feel better in the hand. Or, if the Switch would be preferred. I'm not sure. I really like the look of this myself. I think it looks pretty nice. I like the buttons on the bottom there that you guys can see. If you're not listening to the audio version that I'm going to try to put on iTunes today. Wish me luck. I forgot to cover that in the beginning, but I do plan on putting this podcast on iTunes and such. So more to come on that. But back to Steam Deck. What I think about this is it's overpriced. Kind of. You think about it, it only performs like a PS4, and it's like, yeah, $399 for the base model, but I ordered the one that was like $729. And to me, it's like, wow, that's really expensive, and you're only getting PS4 quality. The screen also is, it's fine. I'm saying this as someone who pre-ordered. The screen is fine. There are pre-orders up now. The Q3 pre-orders, you won't get it until Q3. I did want to talk about it, though. I think it will be the next PSP, and the reason I think that, obviously it's a spiritual successor. It can't be a real PSP, but Sony puts their games, not all of them, but many of them now, onto Steam. And every time that a game is released, Steam will say on the Steam store if it's compatible with the Steam Deck, and guess what? Most stuff is. So, very cool. And most reviewers and unboxers and influencers have said that the Steam Deck rivals PS4 quality, coming in at that 900p screen. I think the Switch OLED's a little bit more impressive with the screen, but everything else is probably going to go to Steam Deck as far as graphics. So that's kind of the deal with Steam Deck, guys. I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to talk about how it was like PSP. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments below. Now, I did have another request for a topic by, I believe, Humorous Wizard requested this. Correct me if I'm wrong. My memory is not always the best. But Humorous Wizard brought up, that we should be talking about E3. So, first of all, I did a little research, and E3, sadly, is virtual this year, even though COVID restrictions are lifting. They made this decision in January, and I did follow up to see if they had maybe changed this. I think they can't change it this close. I think they have to make a decision if they're going to be using the physical space for exhibits, probably 6 months out. So I'm assuming in January, COVID was still going crazy. They figured they didn't know what was going to happen. So at the end of the day, it went virtual. I don't know how I feel about that. Last year's virtual conference was not that exciting. Nintendo's always going to do their direct. Companies have been consistently distancing themselves from the E3 venue. Many companies have pulled out of E3. I went to E3. I will mention briefly. I and Anton G from the Consol-ers podcast, many times. Not only have we been to E3, we've been to Tokyo Game Show as well. But our trips to E3 were magical, and I just don't think that can be recreated with a digital event. And even the last E3 I went to, it wasn't that great. It started to go downhill. I went to the E3 where the N64 was at, Conker's Bad Fur Day Lounge, where they gave out ashtrays, and because Conker was the crazy, wild, edgy character of the late 90s, profanity and beer and shots and whiskey. And they had a lounge there where they gave out cigars, and all that stuff is really collectible. You can find it on eBay, the ashtrays and everything. I didn't get any of that stuff because I wasn't a VIP. I think you had to be like a VIP. I was just a guy that went in on a website credential. I can't remember if I went in on my website credential or if I went in as a GameStop/EB Games employee. I don't remember, but we did get to go many different times. I got to see crazy stuff. Like, I went to the Dreamcast launch of at E3. I got to walk into the Dreamcast. They had the Space Channel 5 dancers were dancing on stage. I don't know if you guys remember Space Channel 5. Hold on. For reference, we're pulling up Space Channel 5. But the Space Channel 5 dancers, guys, I mean, they were crazy. They were up there dancing just like in the game. That was wild, man. So yeah, it's just kind of a crazy time at E3. And they had that was when it was, like I said, there was a whole Dreamcast. My memory is a little fuzzy, but on this, because it was over 25 years ago, but there was a Dreamcast, like, dome that you walked into. I think it was like a dome or like it was partitioned, and you would walk into it, and it, like, took you into this experience. And it was just all the Sega sports games, all the Space Channel 5, Soul Calibur, Resident Evil, Code Veronica. You would go and Sonic, adventure. You just went and you played all these games, and they had tons of Dreamcasts set up. It was just, I can't even tell you. That experience is not able to be matched really by anything else. So if you guys have a chance to look at some old E3 videos from the 90s, Scott the Woz has some good ones that goes over the old E3s, but boy, they're not what they used to be. With all of that nostalgia out of the way, what do I think is going to be at E3 2022? You know, that's a good question. I would have to say, I expect there to be two things followed up on. One of them is Metroid Prime 4. The other is Breath of the Wild 2. Now, when I say followed up on, I don't mean that there will be release dates. I don't mean there will be anything other than trailers. History tells us that Metroid Prime is something that they will tout at an E3. They probably made a mistake doing it the last time because it was announced at the 2018 E3 and then they had to hire a whole new team. I think I got the year right there. But yeah, so, you know, they hired a whole new team, but it's been a couple years on Metroid Prime 4, and, you know, I like the 3D Metroid games is what I prefer. So I'm really excited to play those. The other thing, so yeah, Metroid Prime 4, definitely going to be there. Breath of the Wild 2, I think they will drop a teaser for April 2023. I think between COVID and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, by the way, a game developed by the same people that are working on Breath of the Wild 2. Do you think Breath of the Wild 2 is coming before Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which already has a release date? No. Those two teams, Monolith Soft, work on this. They're both working on those two games. So with that being said, the fact that they're both working on those two games means that Breath of the Wild 2 is not coming this year. I think most people know that. But I do think it will be at E3, and I do think they will say at E3 that it's coming on the anniversary of its Switch release in April of 2023. It came out in April of 2017. And then the sequel will be in April 2018 maybe. And the sequel will be April 2023. That's what I think. What else will be there? You know, it's so hard to tell with Nintendo. They're so random. I want to talk about some things that I think we're due to see, though. I think we are due to see Mario Odyssey 2. You know, will that be at E3? I hope so. I loved Mario Odyssey. It was one of my favorite games I've ever played. Easily in my top 5 games of all time. A masterpiece in every sense. I've gotten farther in that game. I almost have beaten all the post game. I never do that. And that says a lot. If I'm in there doing post game and that stuff, like even Arceus, I've already stopped doing the post game. I just get bored. But it's like, if you can keep me into the post game like that game did, then, you know, hats off to you. What else? What else are we due to see at E3? Bayonetta 3 is super due to be unveiled. And there's been no further information on that game. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why. But that's another one that I do expect them to go over at E3. As far as what I would like to see them announce at E3, oh boy, 2D Zelda. Let's go. We've been needing a 2D Zelda, and when I say a 2D Zelda, I mean bring the Octopath Traveler team in and make a 2D Zelda that looks like that. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. So definitely something that I would love to see. I'm trying to think if I forgot any topics, guys. We're running at about almost 40 minutes here, so I'm trying to just look at my list, make sure I didn't forget a topic. And if I didn't, I think we're going to call it. My voice is kind of, you know, I'm not used to talking for this long. Oh, Will I Buy? We will talk real quick. I do want to talk. Yeah, I think that's about it. Other than Will I Buy. We'll talk about Will I Buy real quick. So Will I Buy is another series that we have on the channel. It's a short series. It's also available on TikTok now at Will I Buy. Okay, so make sure you guys check it out on TikTok. It's actually doing pretty well on TikTok as well. That series is just doing pretty well overall, and I'll keep shooting it. I had a Target one shot that I just deleted. I didn't buy, and it was just, there was too many people around, so I couldn't really talk, and it was just kind of a flop. So some of those you won't see because they get deleted. I'm being very picky about the content I do release. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm getting very, 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 very dialed in. And I want to make sure I'm releasing quality content, which is kind of what this podcast is about. But I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2 of the Mike Will Experiment podcast. And I hope you guys will join us next time. And I hope y'all are having a great day. See you next time.